If you've got a comment or a question for us, here's where to write. soloparenting@cynthiamacgregor.com. Our next guest is Marianne Malky, a voice for the children. She's here to talk about a serious problem that unfortunately occurs sometimes in divorce situations, parental abductions. Marianne?
Yes.
How did you get involved with missing children?
Well, when I was 17 years old, I was abducted by a stranger and taken to the woods to be raped and murdered.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. But I tricked him and kicked him and got away, and someone picked me up and brought me home. And the second reason is in 1974, my son was abducted from me, and that's called parental kidnapping, when parents take children from one another. And I searched for my son all over New York from one address to another. I don't know, about 15 different addresses. And it took me 30 years to locate him, even though I had also 16 private investigators.
16?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So what I do is then the next step after parental kidnapping is parental alienation. And we just had that day, April 25th, Parental Alienation Awareness Day. And what the robot does, we program the robot so that they understand what the problem is. Like, they'll tell the children that their other parent is dead, or they hate them, or they know exactly where they are, and they don't come to see them. So in order to prevent alienation from happening, we have the robot programmed so that they will understand it. It has a script, and it tells about those things that shouldn't happen, it's not right, and so they understand that. Also, stranger abduction. It has stranger abduction, parental abduction, and predators on the internet. And it's very useful. It really works. The kids love it.
Good.
So that's
Marianne,
what that
is there a waiting period before the police can file a missing child report?
No, there shouldn't be a waiting period. There's a National Child Search Act from 1990, but the police are not very knowledgeable about their job, so half the time the children don't get put into the system, which is the NCIC, the National Computer. So that's what happens, because they don't know that they're supposed to do that. They give you excuses like, oh, maybe they'll be back, and maybe, you know, they say that kind of thing. So,
in an international child abduction, when a child is abducted out of the country, which country makes the decision to return the children?
The foreign country does. Even though we have a Hague Treaty, unless you have a lot of money, which is between $250,000 to $350,000, for an attorney here, attorney there, a translator, and possibly a private investigator, you can't use it.
Darn. How many parental abductions a year are there, would you say?
There's about 350,000. It's the largest segment of missing children. Runaways is the largest, but then they come back and forth. Parental is really the largest abducted children. Stranger is quite small.
That's a disturbing set of statistics, Marianne, but thank you very much for coming and sharing them with us. We appreciated having you here this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Parenting, it's life's toughest job under any circumstances, but even harder when you're doing it on your own. Now, from Cynthia MacGregor, Solo Parenting. It's the book you need. How do you handle it when there just aren't enough hours in the day to do it all by yourself? What do you do when you run into your ex at the school play and he's got his new girlfriend with him? How do you help your kids understand that even though you and Daddy no longer love each other, you will always love your kids? This marvelous book is available for all popular e-readers or read it right on your computer. It costs just $4.99. Go to the web address on your screen